Hello student, I think all of you are fine. As you know, we are going to revise the chapter number 2, that is a protein structure and engineering. So in this topic, as we discussed earlier, all these things in the detail, but here we are taking a summarized view of this chapter. So we comes on the introduction to the word of protein. Na? So what is the protein? All of you know, protein is made up of amino acids. It's a long chain of amino acid. Different type of amino acids are present, such as hydrophilic amino acid, hydrophobic amino acid, acidic amino acid, basic amino acid. So many type of amino acid are present that ultimately form a protein. So as you know, we are surrounded by the proteins. So, for example, so you can take the starting of life of human occur from the fertilization of egg by a sperm, and then the whole body is growth in a many steps. So for all these things, all these process, amino acids are required for the formation of proteins. So whole body is made up of protein. So basically the basic 20 different type of amino acids are present that from the different combination and from the proteins. And then we are study about the structure of protein. It's a 3D, how we find out the 3D structure of protein in this chapter, and how we isolate the protein, and how we characterize the protein, what techniques are used in the characterization, and what is the interaction between the different structure of the protein, and how the functional proteins are formed. All these things we are studying in this chapter. So you can see it's a myosin and actin protein, and it's a collagen protein that is present in our gums, and it's a hemoglobin protein that is present in RBC. So as you know, our hemoglobin is made up of quaternary structure, means it made up of 4 polypeptide chain. So today we are discussing all these things, and as we know, if the deformality comes under the formation of the protein, then it causes the disease. Clear? So in this chapter we are studying different type of disease. For example, you can study about the thalassemia. So if the alpha and beta chain, if alpha and beta chain of oxygen carrying protein such as hemoglobin is show the deformality due to the disease occur, is called the thalassemia. Clear? So next disease is a sickle cell anemia. So in case of sickle cell anemia, all of you know the structure of hemoglobin is changed due to the point mutation. Clear? So a certain part of the Africa are endemic for the sickle cell anemia. It's a question, ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है कि which part या which country is endemic for the sickle cell anemia. So it's a Africa. Next disease is a that is a SCID. So these diseases are given in NCERT, are the very important, and the question comes from that disease. So you study these diseases very carefully. So the in case of the SCID, what happened? The enzyme adenosine deaminase, means the formation of enzyme, absence of enzyme adenosine deaminase is not occur due to the childbirth is occur, that is a immunocompromised baby. So what is the meaning of immunocompromised baby? Means the baby don't have immunity against the fighting diseases. Clear? So it's a SCID patient is occur if the enzymes such as adenosine deaminase, as you know, enzymes are the protein in nature. So these proteins are important for the human body. If the defunction of the protein is occur, then it causes the definitely diseases in the human being. So some protein are such as the prions, these are the infectious protein, clear, that cause the disease. And mad cow disease is also occur by the deformity in proteins, clear. So these are about the disease that occurs due to the um, dysfunctioning or deficiency of protein, or abnormal structure of the protein. So next is the human genome sequence has revealed 35,000 genes in a human. So next we are studying about the structure of the protein. So basically it's a 3D structure of the protein. So the how we find out the 3D structure of the protein. So there are the many techniques that is used for the finding the structure of 3D shape of the protein, such as the X-ray crystallography. Question is asked in for the what is the principle of X-ray crystallography, and how the sample is used in X-ray crystallography. So you keep in mind when you characterize the protein through the X-ray crystallography, you require a purified protein in crystal form, clear. So that is another technique. It's a nuclear magnetic resonance, that is NMR. Yeah. So in case of the NMR, there is no crystal required, clear. So protein is required in a solution form. So it's a very big problem to convert the protein convert the protein in crystalline form. So for overcome the problem of the crystallizations, the next technique is the nuclear magnetic resonance techniques has been evolved for best performance and for convenience. So these are the technique that is used for characterization of the protein in the 3D structure of the protein in 3D shape, है ना. Next point is important point is about the scientist. As you know, the Sanger, clear, Dr. Frederick Sanger. So they developed a first sequence reagent, that is the FDNB, fluorodinitrobenzene. This reagent is used for the sequencing of protein, clear. So first protein that is sequenced by the Sanger, it's a insulin. Basically it's a enzyme, but it's a protein nature enzyme. So for that he got a Nobel Prize for protein sequencing. As well as we have studied earlier, Sanger also developed a DNA sequencing method. For that second time he also awarded with the second Nobel Prize for the sequencing technique of DNA, clear. So next the other techniques also present for the protein sequencing. It's a ADMEN method. It's a ADMEN method is also present or also developed. But first time the protein sequencing is developed by the Sanger. So there is some scientists that work in the protein field. So you learn these name of the scientists, such as G.N. Ramachandran. They developed a Ramachandran plot, and so these are the important name of the scientist that is asked in your exam. So keep in your mind. Next is the different type of structure are present in the protein. As we studied earlier in 11th class, it's a primary structure in which the amino acids are present in a polypeptide chain in a sequence manner, clear. Next is the secondary structure, when protein comes in the coiling form, such as alpha helical and beta sheet. So it's from the secondary structure. Now there is another complex structure. It's a tertiary structure in which the interaction of protein, or you can say the interaction of side chain of amino acids also comes in a picture in case of the tertiary structure. And finally it forms a compact spherical, or you can say the globular unit of the protein, or functional unit of the protein. So when the two or more tertiary structure or polypeptides comes together or form the non-covalent interactions, and that is called the multimeric protein. Yeah. So it forms the quaternary structure. So in a simple word, you can say when the more polypeptides comes in contact or form a structure, it forms the quaternary structure. So next is a type of the bond, as you also studied in a chemistry, such as ionic bond, hydrogen bond, van der Waals force, and hydrophobic interactions are used for the functional form of the protein, such as the ionic bond is also called the salt bridges. So actually, you know, the ionic bond is formed through the transfer of electrons. So the ionic bond are the highly sensitive for the pH and salt concentration. If you wants to break the ionic bonds or change the ionic bonds, so it's a change the pH and ion concentration, so the structure or functional structure or of proteins are changed. Basically not structure, basically it's a denaturation is also occur in case of the protein. So next is the hydrogen bond. These are the strong dipole bonds. So as you know, in the water there is a hydrogen bonds, and these are the weak bond, okay, as compared to the ionic bond and covalent bond. And when next is the van der Waals force. These are the weak force also. It is also responsible for the forming the functional structure of the protein. Next is the hydrophobic interactions. So hydrophobic interactions is made by a amino acid, that is a hydrophobic amino acid present in a protein. So you can see oil in water. Oil is not dissolved in water due to the presence of hydrophobic interaction. Clear? So if two molecules form the hydrogen bonding, then they are soluble. If they are not from the hydrogen bonding, then they are not soluble with the water. So oil is show the hydrophobic interaction. It doesn't show the interaction with the water. So such as the protein is also so the hydrophobic interactions means the protein is show the hydrophobic amino acid in their surface. They don't show the interaction with the water. Next is the structure, function and relationship in the protein. It's the next topic. So as you know, the chymotrypsin, it's a proteolytic enzyme, means it is used for the protein digestion. So the chymotrypsin is synthesized by the pancreas. It's a pancreatic enzyme and released by the pancreatic duct into the duodenum. But the chymotrypsin is released in the form of zymogen. So what is the zymogen? Zymogen are the inactive form of enzyme. Clear? So after the proteolytic digestion, or they are comes into the active form. So the inactive precursor enzyme is termed as the chymotrypsinogen, and fully active enzyme is called the chymotrypsin. So as you know, chymotrypsinogen is a inactive form, yani it's a zymogen of chymotrypsin. So there are some amino acids that are released, that are, or you can say that are removed by the proteolytic digestion and proteolytic digestions, and this enzymes chymotrypsinogen comes into the active form of chymotrypsin. So which enzymes are used for the coming the functional form? His57. These are the amino acid residue. His57, aspartic acid 102, serine 195 comes closer in the space and form a functional form of enzymes. These are. Next is the in situ activation of trypsin involve a proteolytic cut into the chymotrypsinogen. In situ, not it's in situ. It's talking about the inside the body. So in situ activation कैसे होता है ट्रिप्सिन एंजाइम का? जब प्रोटीओलिटिक कट क्रिएट होता है किसमें? chymotrypsinogen में, because it is the inactive form or it is released in zymogen forms. So it's a cut is occurs which result in the conformational change in the 3D space of protein that expose the substrate binding pocket in the enzymes. So when enzyme comes in active form, now check what is the meaning of active form of enzymes. It means that it having the affinity with the substrate. So when the active form of enzymes are exposed, then it definitely show the efficiency with the substrate. So these are the molecular structures, how the charge is transferred from one amino acid to the another amino acids during the activation of the chymotrypsinogen to the chymotrypsin. So this charge transfer is called the relay charge transfer in chymotrypsinogen. Next is the some molecular diseases, as you know, occurs due to the deformation of the protein, and such as sickle cell anemia. As you know, in case of the sickle cell anemia, the morphology of the protein are changed, or morphology of hemoglobin is changed. So how to find out that the morphology of the protein is changed? So for that आपको क्या करना होगा? You isolate the protein from the normal person. Clear? You isolate the protein from the normal person, as well as you isolate the protein from the patient or the person that is having sickle cell anemia. Clear? So now you subjected the protein of both the persons through the proteomic analysis. Clear? So how the proteomic analysis is occur, we have already discussed. Clear? So one of the first attempt to study the molecular basis of sickle cell anemia was to compare electrophoretic mobility of the normal and sickle cell hemoglobins, that is called SCHB, and finding that hemoglobin move faster than SCHB. This experiment is performed by the Linus Pauling, dedicated that the latter different in the charged amino acid. So it's how the protein fingerprinting, peptide fingerprinting has been done. So it's done by using the technique proteomic analysis. So in a proteomic analysis, I have already told you about the one-dimensional gel electrophoresis, two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. So all these techniques are used for finding the difference between the normal person protein as well as the person showing the person is suffering from the sickle cell anemia. So the protein fingerprinting data has been further augmented with the new databases. So you can see through this picture, that's a normal RBC, normal RBC isolate the hemoglobin, it's a protein. After that, this protein is converted into the peptide by the trypsin digestion, the trypsin treatment. So now this protein is subjected for the electrophoresis, So after the electrophoresis, this protein is subjected for the paper chromatography. So chromatography is a technique that is used for the purification of proteins. Clear? So after the purifications, the protein is subjected for the MALDI analysis. Clear? So next, same process is performed with the sample of sickle cell RBC person. So isolate the sickle cell RBC, you are taking the blood, then isolate the hemoglobin, again trypsin digestion, then run on the gel electrophoresis, and then again the purification of the protein from the gel, the paper chromatography. So now this protein is subjected for the peptide sequencing and by MALDI analysis also. It's a whole methods of protein sequencing. So next topic is the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. I have already shared a video with you on the electrophoresis. So what is a one-dimensional electrophoresis? In the one-dimensional electrophoresis, protein is separate on the basis of molecular weight. That is also called the SDS gel electrophoresis. And in case of the isoelectric focusing, protein is separated on the basis of pH, or you can say on the basis of isoelectric point. So if the both dimensions are applied in the same gel, then or we can say if the protein are run on the both the dimensions as well as SDS gel electrophoresis and isoelectric focusing for the better result. Clear? So it's called the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. So before the how we perform the proteomic analysis. You can say column, this is a sample 1 protein, this is sample 2 protein, solubilized protein from the cells, and then isolate the proteins. Clear? This is the isolated proteins. So then they run the isoelectric focusing. Then this is the SDS phase. Clear? It's a agrogel electrophoresis unit. As I share a video, you can see the agrogel electrophoresis setup in that. So when the protein is run on the gel, then some steps are doing the staining of the proteins with the silver stain. You can perform through the silver staining, or the protein that is run on the gels, you can identify that protein by the silver staining, either convective blue staining, either fluorescent or autoradiography. These are the techniques that is used for the identification of the protein on the gel. Once you identify the protein on the gel, then you take or cut the spots, and then identification of the protein corresponding to the selected spot, means this protein is subjected to the identifications through the MALDI. Clear? So for the analysis point of view, now next is what is the downstreaming process. So what is the downstream process? Downstreaming means hota hai beta, it's a process that is used for the purification of protein. Clear? It's a group of group of techniques that is used for the protein purification. It is called downstream processing. So many techniques such as chromatography, so many type of chromatography comes under the downstream processing. And next, what is the GRAS? Clear? So GRAS means generally regarded as safe. Clear? Generally regarded as safe. So GRAS means those organism that is comes under the safe category. Clear? So do not produce any antibiotic or toxic substance. So these microorganisms are used in the industry. So it's a compulsory, ये कंपलसरी है कि जो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म इंडस्ट्री में यूज़ हो रहे हैं वो GRAS कैटेगरी के होने चाहिए, यानी वो कोई भी कंटामिनेशन प्रोड्यूस नहीं करने चाहिए करनी चाहिए, और नॉन पैथोजेनिक होने चाहिए. Clear? So these are the criterias when you selecting the microorganism for the industry point of view. It must be comes under the GRAS. Clear? So many enzymes are produced in the industry for the commercial point of view, such as the pepin obtained from the latex of green fruit and leaf of papaya tree. Clear? So and other enzymes that is also used in the dendrization, clarification of beverage, digestive aids, and wound cleaning solutions. So these are the application of enzymes that is produced through the industry. So these are the enzymes. So thank you so much. In this video we are studying up to this topic, and the next topic we can revise in the another video. So watch this video. It's a very useful for you for the quick revision point of view. Thank you so much.